It's finally happening. November 1st isn't just another day. It's a spiritual reset point, a divine checkpoint, the first day of the final powerful month of the year, and you're standing at a threshold that will determine whether the miracles God has been preparing for you actually reach you or get obliterated before they arrive. The energy of this day is charged with potential, but it's also loaded with traps. One big mistake today, one unconscious choice, one moment of spiritual negligence, and everything heaven has been orchestrating for you could dissolve right before your eyes. This isn't fear. This is truth. And if you're hearing this message right now, it's because you were meant to avoid the catastrophic error that most people will make today without even realizing it. If you're ready to protect your miracles and avoid the mistake that destroys what God is building for you, drop a like right now, subscribe to this channel, and comment, "I'm protected," so the universe knows you're awake, alert, and claiming divine guidance for November 1st. The biggest, most destructive mistake you can make on November 1st is breaking your spiritual silence. And I don't just mean talking, I mean engaging with energies, people, and situations that God specifically removed from your life or asked you to release. November 1st is a sacred threshold, and heaven is watching to see if you've truly closed the door on what's behind you, or if you'll reopen it the moment something familiar knocks. Silence is your shield. In this silence, your spirit recalibrates, your blessings find space to land, and God's voice becomes clearer than the noise around you. But just as you step into November with fresh spiritual momentum, old energies will test you. They'll come disguised as innocent messages, unexpected phone calls, sudden encounters with people from your past. That ex who suddenly texts you out of nowhere. That toxic friend who reappears with apologies. That family member who tries to pull you back into drama you've finally escaped. That old pattern dressed up as a new opportunity. These aren't coincidences. This is spiritual warfare testing your readiness for what God is releasing in November. Here's what you need to understand. God has been preparing miracles for you. Breakthroughs that require you to be completely free from old attachments. Blessings that can only manifest when you're no longer energetically bonded to what drained you. But if you break your silence on November 1st, if you engage with what you're meant to be done with, you send a signal to heaven that says, "I'm not really ready. I'm still tied to the past." And when heaven sees that signal, the miracles pause, not as punishment, as protection. Because giving you what you're not ready for would destroy you faster than not giving it at all. Your strategy for November 1st is simple, but requires discipline. When someone from your past tries to engage you, when an old pattern tempts you to react, when a familiar chaos calls your name, your only response should be calm, brief, and final. "Okay," or "I hear you," or complete silence. No defense, no explanation, no debate, no reopening of closed chapters. By refusing to break your silence, you protect your peace. By protecting your peace, you protect your miracles. The universe is precise. It will send you exactly what you used to cling to just to see if you still need it. That person, that situation, that old way of being, they're not the blessing. They're the test. The blessing waits on the other side of your response. If you stay silent, centered, unmoved by the bait, the old energy dissolves and the new energy floods in. If you engage, if you argue, if you defend yourself, if you let yourself get pulled back into what you escaped, the door to the new slams shut. Maybe not permanently, but definitely temporarily. And temporary delays in November can cost you months of manifestation. This is why silence is sacred on November 1st. It's not avoidance, it's strategy. It's spiritual warfare at the highest level. Every time you resist the urge to engage with what's behind you, you're saying yes to what's ahead of you. Every time you protect your silence, you're telling God, I'm ready. I'm done with the old. Bring the new. So as November 1st unfolds, expect the past to knock. Expect old patterns to show up dressed as people, opportunities, or unfinished business. And when they do, breathe. Smile if you need to. Say nothing if you can, or say the minimum required and move on. Do not break your silence. Do not let your peace be invaded. Do not reopen doors God closed for your protection. Your silence isn't emptiness. It's the sacred space where your miracles are about to land. Protect it like your life depends on it, because your next level absolutely does. The second massive mistake that will obliterate your miracles on November 1st is allowing worry and control to dominate your day, to obsess over what might go wrong, to replay fears on a loop in your mind, to micromanage every detail as if your grip alone could force outcomes into existence. Worry feels productive. It tricks you into believing you're being responsible, staying prepared, thinking ahead. But spiritually, worry is nothing more than toxic energy that builds walls around you, walls that miracles cannot penetrate. The more you worry, the louder you scream to heaven, I don't trust you. I believe in fear more than faith. And alongside worry comes its destructive twin, control. You convince yourself that if you could just manage every outcome, manipulate every situation, arrange every person and event according to your plan, then finally everything would fall into place. But this is the grand illusion. Life was never meant to be micromanaged. Miracles cannot be forced onto your timeline. Blessings do not arrive through manipulation. Here's the truth that will change everything. The life you desire will not come when you control everything. It will come when you release control. When you stop clutching so desperately at how things should unfold, you create space for them to unfold in ways infinitely greater than you imagined. Think about it honestly. How many times has life surprised you with something better than what you planned? How many times did a door close that you thought would destroy you, only to lead you somewhere you never would have chosen, but now cannot imagine living without? That's God working. That's divine orchestration. And when you worry and control, you suffocate that magic before it can breathe. November's energy is crystal clear. This month wants to give you more than you asked for. But you must demonstrate that you trust the process. When you hold on too tightly to outcomes, to people, to specific timelines, you send the message that you don't believe in divine timing. When you let go, you say, I trust. I'm ready. I'm open. And in that openness, everything begins to shift. On November 1st specifically, the test may come through delays, plans not unfolding as expected, someone not responding when you wanted, opportunities appearing uncertain. That's not God rejecting you. That's God asking, will you panic and try to control this, or will you trust me and release? Here's the paradox that unlocks miracles. The moment you stop trying to control, the very things you desire begin flowing toward you. When you release your death grip, life responds. When you unclench your fists, the miracle finally has space to land. So let November 1st be your declaration day. Release the worry. It's wasted creation energy. Release the need to control. It's false safety. The miracles God is preparing are already on their way, but they can only enter when you stop blocking them with fear and force. Trust the process. Trust the timing. trust that God's plan is bigger and better than yours. And watch how quickly November begins delivering what October was preparing. The third way to destroy your miracles on November 1st is to allow negative thinking to dominate your mind. This is subtle, but absolutely lethal, because what you think about repeatedly, you energize, and what you energize, you attract. November 1st carries amplified energy. Whatever you focus on today will grow faster and stronger than on ordinary days. If you focus on what's missing, what could go wrong, everything you hate about yourself or your circumstances, that energy multiplies. You might believe these are just private thoughts, harmless mental chatter. But thoughts are seeds, and on November 1st, seeds sprout at supernatural speed. Listen to the conversations you have with yourself. How often today will you say, "I'm not good enough. Nothing ever works out for me. It's too late. I can't do this. Why does everyone else get blessed, but not me?" These words may feel silent, private, even therapeutic to express. But the universe is listening. Your cells are listening. Your future is listening. Every negative thought is like planting weeds in your own garden and then wondering why nothing beautiful grows. The miracle may already be on its way to you. But if your inner dialogue is soaked in doubt, complaint, and self-rejection, you will not see it when it arrives. You will not trust it. You will dismiss it as too good to be true, or sabotage it because deep down, you don't believe you deserve it. November 1st is a test of your mental discipline. God is watching the stories you tell yourself. Will you repeat old scripts of lack, limitation, and fear? Or will you choose new narratives of hope, possibility, and faith? Here's the trap most people fall into. Negative thoughts disguise themselves as realism. You tell yourself, "I'm just being practical. I'm not naive. I'm facing facts." But in truth, you're rehearsing fear and calling it wisdom. Realism acknowledges what is. Faith declares what can be. November 1st doesn't ask you to be blindly positive or to deny reality. It asks you to catch the negative loops before they spiral and replace them with even the smallest possibility of breakthrough. Instead of "nothing ever changes," try "things are beginning to shift in ways I can't see yet." Instead of "I can't do this," try "I'm learning and I'm growing stronger every day." These aren't empty affirmations, they're corrections. Each one pulls you back into alignment with the miracles waiting to manifest. Negative thinking also pulls you into conflict with others. When your thoughts are dark, you become irritable, reactive, defensive. You attract arguments. You repel peace. You drain the very energy you need to receive your blessings. This is why November 1st is such a critical test. God will place situations in front of you that tempt you to react with negativity, a frustrating delay, a rude person, an unexpected obstacle. The test is whether you'll choose a different response, whether you'll stay centered, whether you'll choose thoughts and words that heal rather than harm. So guard your mind today like it's the gateway to your miracle, because it is. Watch your inner dialogue as carefully as your outer one. Each time you catch yourself thinking in lack, pause, redirect. Even one small shift in thought can create a ripple that changes your entire trajectory. November's miracles aren't only about what happens around you. They're about what happens inside you. If you master your thoughts on November 1st, you set the tone for the entire month. But if you allow negative thinking to rule today, you sabotage your blessings before they even have a chance to form. The test is clear. Will you feed your fears or will you feed your faith? One obliterates miracles, The other creates them. One of the most overlooked mistakes that will destroy your November 1st blessings is the belief that you must always be available, always answering, always showing up, always giving pieces of yourself whenever someone demands it. On the surface, it looks like kindness, responsibility, even love. But spiritually, it's one of the fastest ways to block every miracle God is trying to deliver. Here's the truth. Your energy is not unlimited. Every time you say yes when you mean no, every time you answer a message out of guilt, every time you drop your own needs to meet someone else's demand, you drain yourself. And when you're drained, there's no space left to receive the miracles trying to enter your life. November 1st is about divine alignment, and alignment requires boundaries. God isn't asking you to be selfish. He's asking you to be wise with the energy He gave you. If you're always available to everyone else, you're never available to yourself. And if you're never available to yourself, how can you be available to the blessings meant specifically for you? This day will test you with constant pulls, friends who need favors, family members demanding your attention, work messages chasing you even during your rest time, social obligations you don't actually want to fulfill. Each one will tempt you to abandon your boundaries. The real test is, can you say no? Can you protect your time? Can you honor your need for space without guilt? Understand this profound truth. Saying no to others is often saying yes to yourself, and saying yes to yourself is what signals to God that you're ready for more. Being endlessly available makes you scattered, depleted, distracted. Protecting your energy makes you focused, strong, and ready to hold the miracles November wants to give you. On November 1st specifically, do not be afraid to step back. Delay the reply. Protect your morning. Say, "Not right now," without explanation. Watch what happens. The world doesn't collapse. Instead, your peace expands. And in that peace, your blessings finally have room to land. November doesn't want your exhaustion. It wants your focus. This day is not about doing more. It's about doing less, but with laser intention. If your energy is scattered across a dozen people and tasks, none of them carry your true power. And when your energy is scattered, God's blessings can't find you. Think about it logically. You want a miracle, but you're too tired to recognize it when it appears. You want clarity, but your mind is drowning in 100 small distractions. You want alignment, but you've given yourself away in so many directions that there's nothing left to align. God can't work with that. He needs you whole, focused, present. On November 1st, the most spiritual thing you can do is simplify. Say no. Drop what drains you. Protect your calendar. Protect your mind. Protect your focus. Because when your energy is gathered in one place, concentrated and whole, miracles find you at supernatural speed. This may be uncomfortable. People might get offended. They might accuse you of changing, of being distant, of not caring anymore. Let them. Their misunderstanding of your boundaries is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to protect what God is building in you and for you. And you can't protect it if you're giving it away to every person who asks. So today, be ruthlessly protective of your energy. It's not selfishness, it's stewardship. And stewardship of your energy is a requirement for receiving God's miracles. This might be the most painful and most common mistake of all, believing that you're not worthy of the very blessings you've been praying for. You ask God for breakthrough. You declare faith. You believe miracles are possible. But when opportunities actually start appearing, when doors begin opening, a voice inside whispers, "Not for me. I'm not ready. I don't deserve this." And just like that, you push away what was already yours. You self-sabotage, you second-guess, you find reasons why it won't work. You convince yourself it's too good to be true. And the miracle that was moving toward you stops in its tracks, not because God changed his mind, but because you refused to receive it. November's energy is designed to deliver breakthroughs, but breakthroughs cannot land in a heart that's closed by unworthiness. If you constantly question yourself, downplay your value, focus on your flaws, you block the flow, because God matches your belief. When you believe you're unworthy, heaven reflects it back by holding back the very things you're crying out for. Here's the truth that will set you free. Worthiness is not something you earn. It's something you already have. You were born with it. Your past mistakes don't erase it. Your failures don't diminish it. Your flaws don't cancel it. The only thing that blocks your worthiness is your belief that you don't have it. November 1st will test this directly. A chance will appear, maybe a job opportunity, a significant connection, a breakthrough moment, and your first instinct will be to shrink, to step back, to tell yourself 100 reasons why you're not qualified. That is the moment to choose differently. That is the moment to say, I am ready. I am worthy. This belongs in my life. The miracle is already looking for you, but it needs you to open the door, and unworthiness keeps that door locked from the inside. God can knock all day, but if you refuse to believe you deserve what's on the other side, the door stays closed. On November 1st, make a decision. I will not reject what God is trying to give me. I will not sabotage my own blessings. I will not let my past define my future. I am worthy because God says I'm worthy. And that's the only opinion that matters. Every single time you complain, you shift your vibration into lack. You tell God and the universe, I don't like what I have. I don't trust what's coming. I only see what's wrong. And heaven, without judgment, mirrors it back to you, giving you more experiences that match your complaint frequency. Complaining feels harmless. You vent to a friend, you post online, you mutter under your breath about traffic, about your job, about your body, about your circumstances, but each word carries energy, and words are literally spells. The more you speak complaints, the more you anchor yourself in the very reality you want to escape. November 1st amplifies everything. That means a single complaint today weighs heavier than usual. But so does a single word of gratitude. You're standing at an energetic crossroads. Complaining multiplies lack. Gratitude multiplies blessings. This is the choice you make with every sentence that leaves your mouth today. Guard your words. Replace, I'm so tired of this, with, I'm grateful I have the strength to change this. Replace, nothing ever works out for me, with, I'm being prepared for what's mine. These aren't just positive thinking exercises. They're new instructions to heaven. And heaven always listens to the instructions you give. If you choose gratitude on November 1st, doors will open that you didn't even know existed. If you choose complaint, those same doors will close, and you'll never know what you missed. Impatience is spiritual poison. It's the refusal to trust timing, the need to have everything right now, the urge to dig up the seed just to check if it's growing. And impatience kills miracles before they bloom. You plant your intentions, you take aligned steps, but then you panic when results don't appear instantly. You rush, you force, you try to make things happen before they're ready. And in doing so, you disturb the very process that was already working for you. November 1st is a day of divine timing. God is aligning things behind the scenes, conversations you haven't had yet, connections you haven't met, opportunities you can't yet see. If you demand everything immediately, you break the rhythm. You walk away from the field right before harvest. Life may slow you down on November 1st on purpose. A delay, a pause, a waiting period. That's not rejection. It's protection. It's preparation. God is asking, can you trust me long enough to finish what I started? Patience isn't passive. Patience is active trust. It says, I believe my miracle is already on its way, even though I can't see it yet. And when you operate in that vibration, you allow the blessing to arrive whole, complete, and in perfect timing. Impatience tells God you don't trust Him. Patience tells God you're ready to receive. The choice is yours. One of the most dangerous mistakes you can make on November 1st is allowing the wrong people to remain in your life. Not the supporters, not the ones who lift you, but the drainers, the fake friends, the energy vampires, the ones who smile to your face but pull from your light every chance they get. You know who they are. You feel it every time you interact with them. Your body feels heavier, your mind gets clouded, your spirit feels exhausted. These aren't coincidences. This is your intuition, screaming. This connection is not real. This is costing you more than it gives. November 1st is about alignment. God is trying to match you with people, places, and opportunities that belong in your next chapter. But if you're holding on to false connections, you're telling heaven, I'm fine with counterfeits. I'll accept less than I deserve. And when you accept less, the greater blessing is delayed. Here's the test. Toxic people often reappear right when you're about to rise. They come with sudden messages, sudden interest, sudden warmth, because unconsciously, your growth threatens their comfort. Whether they realize it or not, they try to keep you small because your smallness feels safer to them. Pay attention to patterns. Does this person celebrate your wins or compete with them? Do they listen when you speak or twist everything back to themselves? Do you feel inspired after being with them, or drained, uncertain, smaller? November 1st is asking you to choose quality over quantity, to release the false, to make space for the true. Because God cannot send you soul-aligned friends, supportive community, or genuine love if you're still clinging to connections that deplete you. Letting go isn't betrayal, it's protection. Sometimes the most powerful boundary is quiet distance. The simple choice to stop feeding what no longer feeds you. Your miracles are often waiting behind closed doors. The moment you close the door to toxic connections, you open the door to divine ones. The final and perhaps most devastating mistake you can make on November 1st is staying asleep while God is speaking to you. November's energy is like a spotlight, illuminating everything you need to see. But if you walk through this day half awake, you'll miss the messages that could completely transform your life. Signs aren't always dramatic. They're subtle. A dream so vivid you wake with your heart racing. A number that keeps appearing everywhere. A stranger saying one sentence that lands in your soul like it was written just for you. An animal that keeps crossing your path, carrying a silent message in its persistence. These are not random. They're language. And November 1st is when that language becomes louder, clearer, more urgent. But most people dismiss it. It's just a dream. That number means nothing. It's only an animal. And with those dismissals, they close the door to the very guidance they've been begging for. God will not send you an email with the subject line, "Important divine instructions." He sends whispers, nudges, symbols. He watches to see if you're awake enough to notice. On November 1st, more than any other day this month, You must be alert. Slow down. Pay attention. When something repeats, write it down. When a dream feels different, sit with it. When a stranger says something that resonates, ask yourself why. When an animal keeps appearing, remember that in every spiritual tradition, animals are messengers. Being awake doesn't mean becoming paranoid. It means practicing curiosity instead of dismissal. It means opening space for the possibility that God is answering you in ways you didn't expect. If you can do this, you'll see doors before they fully open. You'll understand the timing of events. You'll feel the alignment of your steps. But if you stay asleep, the messages will escalate until they become lessons. And lessons are always harder than signs. November 1st is a test of awareness. If you stay awake, the miracles already moving toward you will have a clear path. If you stay asleep, you'll walk right past them, never realizing they were there. God is speaking right now, in your dreams, in numbers, in strangers' words, in nature's signs. Stay awake, notice, respond. This is how whispers become direction, and direction becomes miracles. Outro. The choice is in your hands. November 1st is not just another day. It's a threshold, a test, a divine checkpoint that will determine whether the miracles God has been preparing actually reach you or get obliterated by unconscious choices. You now know the 9 fatal mistakes that destroy blessings, breaking your spiritual silence, living in worry and control, drowning in negative thinking, having no boundaries with your energy, believing you're unworthy, constant complaining, impatience with divine timing, keeping toxic people close, staying spiritually asleep. Every one of these mistakes is a door, either to your miracle or away from it. And November 1st is when you choose which doors you'll walk through. The fact that you're hearing this message right now means you were meant to avoid these traps. You were meant to protect what God is building. You were meant to stay conscious, boundaried, faithful, and awake while heaven moves on your behalf. November is not a month to drift through. It's a month where every choice echoes into your future. Guard your silence. Release control. Master your thoughts. Protect your energy. Claim your worthiness. Speak gratitude. Practice patience. Release toxic people. Stay spiritually alert. Do these things on November 1st, and you set the tone for a month of miracles. Fail to do them, and you'll spend the rest of November wondering why the blessings never came, when in truth, they came but you weren't ready to receive them. The miracles are real. They're already prepared. They're already on their way. The only question is, will you protect them or obliterate them through unconscious living? November 1st, the day that determines your entire month. The choice is in your hands. Make it count.